Hi, I'm Sam Pearson, and this is how to use Zoom polls in your Zoom classroom. With the pandemic, we've transitioned from a classroom that looks like this. How do you assess participation, attendance, students' knowledge, and get that two-way feedback that's really crucial to any kind of communication, but especially with instruction and teaching. There are a few reasons to use polls, and this is a great time to begin using these in your class. First, we can assess students' prior knowledge at the start of the class. And that comes in where you can determine if students have done a particular reading that you assigned. You can decide what the range of opinion is on the topic that you're about to teach, or you can determine if students know a specified prerequisite knowledge that you're about to launch into. You can also use these to check students' understanding during a class. This is helpful for you because you might know what students have picked up and maybe what they have missed. You allow students a checkpoint to go back and review what you've just taught, and then they will know if they have understood or if they have something missing, and that will allow them to ask a question. You can also create a discussion or debate similar to a classroom, and that gives voice to students who might otherwise be silent. So students who might feel reticent to participate in a class, either they're intimidated by the topic, there are students who might otherwise not want to speak up, or they are concerned about not looking informed. A poll is a great way to make sure that they're included, and you can make a poll anonymous so that students' names aren't attached to it. What we'll cover first are 4 steps to polling. After we enable polling in Zoom, we'll create a poll, share the poll with the class, collect the results of a poll, and if you prefer as the teacher, you can share the results with participants as well. That's up to you. The first step will be then to enable polling. And to enable polling, simply click on zoom.us. And then you'll go to Settings, and then scroll down on the Meeting tab to Enable Polls. So this will have to be set in order for polls to work. If this is grayed out, it will mean that your polls are not an option in Zoom, so just click that to enable polls. While you are in the Zoom settings, be sure to check Enable Personal Meeting ID. You'll want to be sure that this is enabled. So leave it on the blue setting. And the reason is that if you have that enabled, then your polls are visible on any Zoom call that you host. Now that you have enabled polling, go into your Zoom account. Simply click on Zoom on your desktop. Once you're signed in, this screen is what you'll see. Click on New Meeting. Then click on the Polls button, which is down here. And this is where you're going to be able to manage your polls. And so click on the blue button, add a question. And this will bring up a new website in your Zoom account where you will manage polls. And so this is the spot where you'll actually build out the poll and the questions and the answers. So you'll notice first that it gives you the option between a single choice and a multiple choice question. With single choice, only one answer can be chosen. So participants just choose one answer, and with multiple choice, they can choose multiple answers. And so that just depends on your preferences for your poll. First, you will add a poll title, and you can make this the same as your question or different. I'm going to put in, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? Once you've added both of those, you can, both the title and the question, you can add answers. So I've chosen flying, invisibility, and I already have a superpower. Note that you can click anonymous. If you click that, that means that students' names will not be visible. After you have finished adding your questions and answers, click Save. And then you have now created the poll. You have up to 25 at a time. Click this arrow right here, which will navigate you to an option to change between different polls that you've created before. And so you can create these at any time and then go back later when you've started a class and select a poll that you've already built. Once you're ready to share your poll, this means that your students are in the classroom, in the Zoom classroom with you. Select the poll and then click Launch Polling. And so what they see is a pop-up that shows the question and the answer options. Participants will then be able to choose one of the answers if you clicked single choice, or multiple answers if you clicked multiple choice. And then you as the host, back to host view, would then see the results. And so in this case, one person voted and they voted that they have the superpower. Click End Polling once you've received all the answers that you want. And you're the only one that's seeing this still as the instructor. Attendees are still viewing the questions. Once you click End Polling, they can no longer see it. Now you've ended the poll and you haven't yet shared the results. So you might decide that you don't want to share results, and then you can just click the X. You might decide that you do. In most cases, you probably will, and click Share Results. So this, what I'm showing now, is what a participant can see, what a student can see. They can see the results of what people, what others chose, and so they will be able to see the names if you didn't click Anonymous. Participants are now viewing the poll results like this. Polls will still work in Populi if you use conferences. You need to have your personal meeting ID set up. And so once you launch a Populi conference and click Start Conference, you can simply go into your polls once you're in Zoom and launch a poll that you've created previously to the class.